Hello and welcome to Chess with Simon. Can we make that window a bit bigger? Just run up the stairs. Welcome to Chess with Simon. I'm Simon. It's Sunday night. We're going to have a chilled out 10-minute game of chess. Okay, E4. Let's play the Sicilian defense. Really nice. E4, C5. Let's play a beautiful and complex Sicilian. D6, D4, takes. So, I think we're going to play a Najdorf. Okay, so what does that mean? That means my opponent wants to play C4. This is theoretically justifiable. So I'm going to start playing these moves with a view to playing an early D5. Yeah. So I'm going to get castled, and then I'm going to try and play an early D5. Like, can I play D5 here? D5 will be defended 3 times and attacked 3 times. I think I just play it. I think D5 is just playable there, isn't it? And the point is, it frustrates his concept. Now, doesn't mean black's better. It just means that we're playing a different kind of game. But if he takes on D5, that pawn on F3 looks weird. And if he pushes, it also looks a bit weird too. So here, attacking the E5 pawn. So he can take twice on D5. But I'll take... If he takes with a pawn on D5, yeah. Okay. Now, I can comfortably defend the... You know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this. This. Then I'm going to bring my knight out to attack it. I think black's really good here, actually. I like this. You know, I mean, black is going to have nice development. Nice development. Knight comes to C6. White may castle long if he wants a sort of exciting battle. But I think in those situations I just play Queen C7 opposite his king. Okay, so what's his claim? His claim is he's going to come into D6. Right? And what I say is, I'm not worried about that. I mean, is that bad? Got to be a bit careful not to hang the B6 knight. But, so here's what I'm imagining. Well, so knight D6, bishop takes, queen takes, then I suppose knight C8 will have to be played. Or bishop B6, queen B6, queen here, and I think I trapped the queen. Oh no, I don't quite trap the queen, but probably take the knight with a pawn, and then I'm trapping the queen next move. And white can't castle short, and also black has this queen E3 move, which is a good move because it takes away white's right to castle, and the queen's really buzzing around the king. So actually white's in a mess here. I think what white will play is knight here, yeah. And now, do I take that? Do I need to take that? Well, let's take it. And what he has now, he couldn't take with the queen. He has this sort of awkward pawn. He has an awkward over-advanced pawn. So now, instead of this lovely Maroczy bind structure, which I suspect he wanted, he's got a kind of weird structure. Yeah, well, you know what? We'll take the queens off. We'll take the queens off, and we're going to play this. and get my bishop probably onto the long diagonal. Best guess, but just at least give that bishop some squares. So I like this move because it doubles his pawns. I like this move because it gets my rook in the game. So I think he would have quite liked to play knight c5. Perhaps I should have let him try. Okay. So this. And then the big question is, against knight c5, can I take here? So what happens? I take a pawn. What does he do? He takes a pawn. No, I take a pawn, he takes a pawn. I take a rook, he takes a rook. No, it doesn't work. I think I'm winning a pawn here. Aren't I? Aren't I just winning a pawn? If he takes on b7, I take back with the bishop. If he takes on e6, I take the rook. He takes on f8. I come out with check, win the knight. If he pushes, I just take the knight. Oh, no, I don't. If he pushes... Ooh. Yeah. If he pushes, that's the good move. Pushing. Yeah. He didn't play the good move. Okay, it's a rushed game. We're all rushing. But that would have been the right move to play. Okay, now I've got to get out of jail free card. So pushing would have won for white probably. Ah well. Okay. Let's blockade that pawn. I suppose bishop e6 comes into plans, doesn't it? Because after that, doesn't this pawn just drop? I mean, what's the concept here? Okay, so just take. Just take. Knight takes here. I take. King takes. Yeah. Fair. Oh, no, no. Oh, so close. I take on c1. King takes on c1. And then you can't take the knight because the rook's pinned. But, you know, was there a... There's a check on c6. But it doesn't quite do the business. But what does do the business is... Ah! Oh, it's okay. It's all okay. It's fine. Because... if the rook comes back, where's that knight going? Okay. Well... you know what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this. This. Now the real key here is not to get checkmated. That's what we're all aiming for, isn't it? Let's try not to get checkmated. So if he takes on e6, I take back. Yeah. I'm not sure I went the right way there. I'm not sure it matters that much. Okay, what we're aiming here is a luscious and delightful and beautiful rook ending with an extra pawn. So what we want... do I want to take that knight? Undouble his pawns? I do, you know. I just do. We're going to play the ending. Because this ending is quite hard for white to hold, I think. I mean, all I've got to do is get the rooks off and it's over. And there's a lot of ways to get the rooks off. And in the meantime... okay, so that pawn is running. Let's do this while I think about what to do. So if he pushes again, I'll have to play rook c1, rook c2, takes, and then I win. This is a good, probably pretty good move. Although, I don't know, really? Because the problem is he can't push the pawn. He can take my pawn, though. He can take my pawn. So let's do a deep analysis, eh? Pawn g4, rook takes on a6. Pawn h4. Rook a7 check. The threat then is the c pawn, I think, so we can't allow that. We can't allow that. We got to play this. Probably king b2 to attack my rook. Then rook h1. Then he takes. Then I take here with check. I think I'd have to play. Because, of course, after king b2, if I play rook a4, yeah. So that looks to me like indecision. That, I'm just going to try and create an outside pass pawn, hopefully not lose them. Let's do some analysis. Pawn h4, rook d4, push, takes, push, and it's over. Come on then. We're going all the way. Rook here, push, push, takes, push. Yeah, I can't take, see. That's the problem. Now, do I defend this pawn from the side or the... I'm going to defend it from in front. This is going to create some real risks for white because his king cannot be in a position where my rook can move away and check it. So his king's really got to sit here. And that's going to be very, very hard because then my king is going to... Well, my pawns are going to... This pawn's going to march up the board. That's the problem. And these pawns can't... Can he get there in time? So pawn g2, king there... I go here, his rook takes, I take there. Okay, that's what I got to do. That's what I got to do. Pawn g2, king there, I imagine. Rook here. When he takes here, oh, he's going to do it that way. Yeah, but can you? Can't I just... check you? You've got to take with the... Here's the trick. You have to take with the rook. And the minute you take with the rook, I take here. So, what's your idea? Do I just push my pawn? Okay, let's just see. I think I move my king towards the white pawns here. Check here, I go there, he attacks, I go there. I think I'm just improving my position. Yeah, okay. That had to happen, I think. And now, yeah, I'm getting a bad feeling about this for... A very bad feeling for white and a very good feeling for black because he attacks there, I just cut off his king. Okay. It's not a bad move, is it? It's not a bad move. No, I think his pawn's going to run. This pawn's going to run because he's going to want me to take. He takes there with check. I go there. His king goes there. Okay. Yeah, but... Okay, so he takes. The point really is, my judgment is, surely I can just cut off his king, right? Like this. I suppose he wants to interpose his rook. He wants to... He has to put his rook in the way to allow his king into the game, because otherwise I just keep his king out with my rook and then I just use my king to shepherd the pawn forward and then I just shield his rook off. So the idea is now my rook is locking his king out. My king is going to defend the pawn all the way to the queening square. Yeah. His king can't threaten my rook in any way. Rooks move too fast for that. But the answer is, the question is, can his rook imprison my king behind the pawn? And the answer is no, because my rook will come to b1, at which point he's going to have a problem. His problem being, how about them apples? Yeah, okay, and what's going to happen now is, he checks there, I go here. If he takes, I take with the pawn. If he goes onto the a file, then I just queen. This is over. And it's pretty as well. Well, it's actually been quite an interesting game. How did it start? A Sicilian defence. I think he'll resign this. Come on, my friend, what now? I think I queen next move, virtually whatever he does. Okay, and I can absolutely guarantee that I know how to mate. Thank you so much for the game. I really enjoyed that. Chess can be fun.